Hey everyone, Scott Cunningham, aka Scott C Business. Today we're going to be talking about how you as a creator on LBRY can earn way more LBC, the LBRY cryptocurrency. So the simple thing here is that you're really just using supports. That is how you're going to do it. Let's jump into it. And first I'll share that I actually did make significantly more. I made about 3 times the amount that I would normally make in 1 month. And the month is not necessarily over yet. But if we go back and we look at February, I got 1,300. If we look at January, I got about 1,600. And before that, they didn't have sort of overviews or summaries for the whole month. But based on these, if you say like maybe the average is between the two, so like 1,450, this month, and again, the month's not over yet, I've made 4,902. So, you know, at the very least, that's probably at least 3 times as much, if not close to 4. And the reason that this is happening is because I've taken full advantage of using supports. And this is how you'll get way more views, way more followers, and earn significantly more LBC, which then you can put into more supports and earning more, and it's kind of exponential at this point. You will probably have to start off by buying a little bit and making somewhat of an investment, and then you can kind of just capitalize on that. You could start from zero, but it's going to be very challenging, and your supports are going to have very little effect. So to start using supports, they are not enabled by default. I've talked about this previously. If you go into your settings and you scroll pretty far down, you'll see in the experimental settings that you can enable claim support. And what this essentially does is it allows people, including yourself, to stake on a specific post or channel, and you can put as much of your LBC as you want, and that will help it get more discovered and be higher up on the trending lists and the tags that it was listed on when people are trying to find different content. And the reason that this is so important is because it costs you nothing and you're able to unstake at any time. So if we go right now and we look at what is trending on LBRY, well, you'll see that my channel, which I've staked earlier today, is listed pretty high up in all these different tags. So if you actually look at crypto, Trevon James, who probably has way more LBC than I do. I assume the difference here is that he is probably spreading out his supports across several posts. I'm putting it all into one so that I can have the maximum effect. And you can do either, and we'll discuss that in a little bit. But if you compare though, he has more than 3 times my following. He's probably making just an insane amount of LBC. I believe I saw one video where he made 25,000 in 1 month. So he's like ridiculously ahead of me, and yet still somehow I'm able to get my channel listed above his in these trending hashtags. And it's all because of supports. So there's 2 ways that you can do this. As I said, the first way is what I'm doing, and it is putting all of your currency into one single support. So if we go and we look at my my wallet here, you can see that I've got 49,500 LBC staked, and it is essentially all staked. And if you go into your transactions, you go support, you'll see your last support, and I staked 49,300 to get it as high up on the list as possible. And you're probably going to want to do this daily and switch it up daily so that when the algorithms refresh and the trending sections refresh, you will be on there and it won't be like an old support. So what I do when I upload a new video is I will remove my channel support, and then when I post the video, I will go to my video, and then support should be listed right there. And you'll only see this if you've enabled it in the experimental settings. Then I will go ahead and I will put basically all of my crypto, all my LBC into this support. And then this will get this listed very high up in the trending list, and then about like maybe 6 to 12 hours later, I will cancel that support and I will put it back into my channel, because I don't want just one video being a very narrow scope. I'll promote it when it's new, and then I'll go back to promoting my channel to encourage people to follow. So that's my strategy. There's a lot of different ways that you could do it. You could just support your channel. You could just support your videos. What it seems like Trevon is doing, and he's doing really well. So, consider this, but also consider that he's probably got a lot of LBC to be able to afford to do this. He is boosting various videos and his channel, probably because he has enough LBC to afford doing it. I was going to say Hex because he's always talking about Hex. But yes, if you can afford to do so, then you can support multiple posts and channels and things like that. But considering how much it takes to get near the top, for me, this was about 49,000. So given that everyone else here is trying to stake, a good amount, and they're trying to be on the top must be somewhere around 50,000 as of now, right? That can obviously change at any time. And there's no way to really know what that is. It's just kind of based on what it seems like people are bidding at. And when I look through the different trending sections, you can see that for the most part, that's near the top. So maybe people from Hex are putting a little bit more in right now. But for the most part, around 50,000 is kind of like the upper side of this. And it is interesting seeing how many people are talking about Hex on this platform. I don't want this to just be overloaded with Hex. We need more people talking about LBRY. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm doing all these different guides, tutorials, all these different things on LBRY to help you guys achieve better results and take full advantage of this platform as a creator and as well as a user. But again, the max, or around what it seems to be like the upper limit, is around 50,000. So say you had 100,000, you could put 50,000 into a channel and 50,000 into a post, and they would both sit at the top. But say you only had 30,000 and you put 15,000 into each, well, then they're going to appear way down here, right? Sometimes it is kind of interesting because you'll have posts that will be popular and they will be listed without having any supports or tips or anything. So you can see this is my post and it is still listed, but I have no supports or anything behind it. Though, for all I know, someone else is supporting this. I'm not sure if there was a way to find out, but I would assume that that's the case because I don't see anything else showing up. And maybe someone who's really passionate about LBRY wanted to give me a bit of a boost. So that's another thing you can do with supports, is you can help support other people and get their content out there, and you're not actually spending any money and you can take it back at any time. But again, if you want to fully take advantage, you're best to throw all of your LBC into one thing at a time and then move the entire sum every time you want to change it. Because again, unless you have a ridiculously high amount, you're going to end up way further down in the actual list. And you want to be as high up in the trending list as possible to get the most views and the most awareness, because obviously, the people who are at the top, people assume that those are the most quality and it's the first thing you see. So I highly recommend using supports on your channel and using supports on your videos. Yes, you might have to invest a little bit to be able to do this, but again, it is going to have phenomenal results for you. I'm literally telling you this at a disadvantage to myself, because now you know what I'm spending, you know what the upper limits tend to be, and you could just go out there and buy 60,000 LBC and take over my top spot with ease. LBRY is also cheaper right now because of everything that's going on, so this could be the exact opportunity if you have a little bit of extra money in crypto to take advantage of this. If not, you can just slowly build up your portfolio, but it's going to be very challenging unless you have some sort of a boost to start off with. For all I know, you've got a big following elsewhere and it might be easier to get to that point, but I would highly, highly recommend looking into using supports, turning it on in experimental settings, and seeing how you can take advantage of that. Let me know if there's something that I missed, or if there's something else on LBRY that you would like to see covered or learn more about. I'm happy to help. And if you did watch to the very end of this video, make sure to comment hashtag #1ham in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. You're amazing. I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scott C Business, signing off. Cheers.